I'm producing this video to discuss how to participate in discussion posts throughout the class. As you saw in the schedule, we have one pretty much every week, and it's really important that you participate in them. Purpose of discussion posts are not to get in debates and to, you know, proffer our opinions on any particular subject. It's to show that we understand the material that we just covered in that particular section of the class. And I'll give you a couple of examples of that so you get an idea of what that means. So, as you know, discussion posts are quite often, or if you see them online, blogs, whatever you want to call them, are these often highly opinionated, um, just ridiculous, meanderings really of thought that aren't really based on any kind of fact or anything like that. And that's not what this is about. And you don't want to do posts like that. So what we want to do here is show that we clearly understand the material that we're talking about. And each one of the topics gives us the opportunity to do that. So by way of example, I'm going to show you, well, actually, first I'm going to show you is the rubric, and we have a grading rubric for this particular, for this activity. And it's posted out there so you can see it. So, but basically what it comes down to is this. You are going to do an original post. You have to do it on time. On time means by this coming Wednesday at 11:30. And if you look at the schedule, it's almost always like that. And then in your post, what's going to be important is that you show the relevance of your post to the course material that we've covered. You even want to cite it and within your post as well. And then by Friday, you're going to comment on somebody else's post with the same kind of criteria to be applied to what kind of grade you get on your response. And finally, we want to make sure that you're doing this with clarity and professionalism. I think it's real important that you get used to using proper grammar and proper spelling and make points very clearly. Okay, so that's the grading rubric. That's how it's going to apply to it. There's 10 total points per discussion post, 7 for your original post, and 3 for the reply. And all negated by if you can't do it on time. So make sure you get into the cadence of doing it and getting them out there each week. Okay, so that's the rubric. Now I'm going to use an example here. We can talk about the very first discussion post we have in our class outside of introducing yourself to your teammates, which was, I'm glad, got some real nice commentary and conversation going on that. I thought that was pretty good. So, but now we're going to go into a topic that's related to chapter 4 of our book, which is about the global economy. And the question is, are we're instituting in the United States, we have spent since the last administration, considerably higher tariffs, particularly on China. And my question to you is this a good or bad? Is it good or bad for the citizens of the United States? Um, so basically, and just to give you a little background on it, it started with ex-President Trump. He put in place some pretty hefty tariffs on China, like I said, and they responded in kind, and that really increased the costs of bringing products in from China into the United States. And then conversely, if we were selling things into China, those also got increased tariffs. So I'm not commenting on whether that politically was or from any perspective from that point of view, it is correct thing to do. I just want to know what effect you think it has and whether that's really good or bad for us. So the question here is, with the greatly increased tariffs on Chinese imports, overall a good thing or a bad thing for the citizens of the United States? Now, this is 100% going to be dependent on your perspective of who you're answering for. Okay, is it for somebody working at Walmart? Is it for somebody working at a manufacturing job in a U.S. company? So it really depends on whose perspective you're taking, and then you're going to pick a position and say it was a good thing or a bad thing, and then basically defend that in your post. The way to defend that is to reference the course material. So I pulled up in the e-text here, this actually the very section that we would likely want to reference, and it's called the protectionism debate and it's under section 4.5 is barriers to international trade. And if you go through it, it talks about several things that you should consider, whether protectionist types of uh, policies are beneficial or not. So, and you can easily reference some of the what's talked about here. And the way to do that would be it's on page 1. So it's on in the text. We just put in parentheses in the text, and then page 125. And that's good enough for me to say that's. And if you're going to quote, you can quote this directly out of the book. So you can say, um, other advocates justify protectionism in the name of national security. Maybe that's the basis of your argument. Whatever the case may be, they make several points here that you could cite in your post and also in your response to somebody else's post. Okay, so that gives you a rough idea. There's other things to look at as well in the text. You could do that. You could also look under the content for the week as well. So there's a rather lengthy video. You don't have to watch it, certainly, but there's a rather lengthy video under content for this week. I'm going to pull it up so you can see what I'm talking about. And it's this one here, 5 experts' view on the U.S. China trade war. And you could definitely take a look through that as well if you want to learn more about the topic and help you make a good, make a sound, well-reasoned, well-cited post. Okay, so don't do quote from the various content in the textbook, and make sure you just make reference to it in your post. You don't have to. We don't need footnotes and all the rest of that stuff. Just say it was in the video 5 experts' point of view on U.S.-China trade war, or chapter 4 of the text, page 125. Whatever. So it could be a simple reference like that, and that'll work just fine. Okay. And then again, make the post by 11:30, and then your response by Friday at 11:30. So Wednesday at 11:30 for the original post. Your response Friday by 11:30 as well. Okay, so if you have any questions about it, certainly let me know. That's what we're going for. I will give you feedback once everything's done, which would be after 11:30 on Friday. I'll give you feedback to help you kind of structure maybe your next post as you move forward. Okay, any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you and good luck.